is, let's say you move in, you put in your Wi-Fi router, you sign a little contract, and you're like, oh, right, so I'll let the others use it, but they can pay a little bit towards my bill. So at the end of every month, you go to your buddies and you say, hey, can you chip in your $10 for Wi-Fi? They're like, oh, yeah, I just don't quite know where my wallet is, ask me later, right? So individuals, they will continue to use your Wi-Fi, but they're just not going to be quite as good about paying up for the provision of that particular service. So the notion here is that, once you provide this public good, people are going to use that service for free because it's non-excludable, non-rival. Wi-Fi is actually a little bit tricky because Wi-Fi is rival. If everybody starts downloading huge high-def movies, the service actually slows down and you get congestion. So that's an externality, but we'll assume that away for now. So for certain things that we really want, right, if we decide as a society that we really want, national defense and we want green space and we want radio waves, what the government often does is, because individuals will not provide enough national defense, and there are other issues involved with individuals providing national defense that I don't need to go into here, but in terms of, providing good coverage of radio waves and so on, the government often steps in and provides these public goods because individuals will not supply the optimal amount. Okay, now what's the issue here? The issue here, and this is one I will try and get across clearly, but sometimes I fail, so we're going to try again. It's a new year. Is the demand for a public good and the demand for a private good are different, right? So we can think of market demand as the marginal social benefit curve. So we've already thought about this when we thought about externalities, right? So your marginal willingness to pay for one unit, which is at any given quantity, a point on your demand curve right here, is exactly equal to what you think the marginal benefit from consumption is, right? So that's nice, because then if I can add this up across all individuals, each additional unit, you just add up horizontally the marginal benefit from one more unit, right? Because in order for an additional individual to get more marginal benefit from consumption, you're going to have to provide one more unit, right? Because the previous individual ate his unit of chocolate cake, so if the next person wants to realize at a given price one more unit of chocolate cake consumption, you're going to have to produce one more unit, and that's why we horizontally sum up individuals' demand curves. Now with public goods, this is different. Why is this different? Once I provide one unit, right, who gets to consume? One person? Everybody gets to consume it, right? So if you provide one unit, the marginal benefit of consumption doesn't just accrue to the one individual that bought it, but it accrues to everyone. So what that does is the marginal benefit of consumption from one unit, you vertically add up the marginal benefit from consumption across each individual, because it's no longer just one person gets the benefit, but everybody does, right? So the marginal benefit of one unit of public good is the marginal benefit to everyone that actually can consume that particular unit. What are you talking about, Max? Okay, let's try and make this a little bit clearer. I haven't really drawn any pictures yet today. I feel a little rusty. Okay. Come on. Where's my picture? Whatever. I can draw this in my sleep. Okay. Price, quantity, price, quantity, max, Noah, market. We've drawn this picture before, right? But if we're thinking about 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, 10, 20, 30, 40. So let's say Max's demand curve is pretty easy here. Looks something like this. And let's say Noah's demand curve looks a little bit steeper. Okay, so let's say Noah's demand curve looks 2 to 3 looks really steep. So if this is a private good like chocolate cake, the market demand curve, if we just have 2 individuals in this market at $40, right? Max wants 1 unit, Noah wants 2. So 3 units right here. At a price of $10, Max wants 4, Noah 3, so we're at 7. So this is what the market demand curve looks like. Right? So horizontal sum of individuals' demand curves. You should be snoring by now, okay? The reason for that is we've done this before. I just wanted to bring this back into your mind, right? Because in order to get Max this $40 worth of marginal benefit of consumption, I have to give him 1 unit of chocolate cake. In order to get Noah $40 worth of marginal benefit of consumption, I have to get him a different set of 2 units of chocolate cake, right? So what we're getting here is we're adding horizontally up across additional units of private goods the marginal benefit of consumption from each of these units to get at the market benefit or total benefit of consumption. Okay, for a public good, this is different. For a public good, what you've got now, once you provide 1 unit, everybody gets to benefit from that particular unit. So here's my picture. All right, this is going to get a little bit tricky. But we know that the efficient level of consumption and production is where marginal benefit equals marginal cost, or demand equals supply, right? But now what I've got for public goods is that the social marginal benefit, meaning the total benefit to society, isn't the horizontal, but it's going to be the vertical sum of demand curves, because 1 unit provided provides benefits to each individual, not just the individual consuming it. All right? So what is that going to look like? Are you ready for it? Stretch. This is a tough one. It's not that tough. Okay, so I'm going to come up with an example where here on the y-axis I'm going to put the price of guard service per hour. What kind of craziness is that, Max? Okay, think about a shopping mall. Think about a shopping mall that has a dollar store in it and a store that sells, I don't know, Bose headphones, right? Dollar store has a bunch of stuff which is valued at about a penny each, and they're selling it to you at a margin of 99 cents. Bose store has headphones that have a marginal cost of about maybe $22, and they're selling them to you at 400, all right? But one has a really high value set of goods. The other one has a really low value set of goods in it. So let's say this is an area where there's a lot of crime, right? So the stores have to think about whether they should hire guards or not, all right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write down the marginal benefit curve from guard service for the low value store, so 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, so this is the demand curve for guard service for the dollar store. And I'm going to write down the demand curve for the fancy store, the Bose headphone store. So this here is demand. This here is also demand. This one here is dollar store. This one here is Bose store. Let's say guards' wage rates are $10 an hour. Okay, so marginal cost of guard is $10 per hour. So is the dollar store going to hire a guard? No. Their highest willingness to pay or marginal benefit ever is $7. It costs them $10 to hire a guard. They're just going to be okay with occasionally being broken into. What about the Bose store? Well, the Bose store, yeah, right? They're going to look at the marginal cost versus the marginal benefit, and they're going to hire 4 units, or 4 hours of guard service. So that's great. Now there's a guard walking around for 4 hours. Does this mean the dollar store is not going to be protected? No. If all of a sudden there's a big dude that looks more threatening than Max, right? Walks around with like a taser or something, of course, bad guys are less likely to break in. So in fact, the dollar store gets this much marginal benefit from those 4 hours of guard service. So $10 of benefits for the, that really hurts, $10 of benefits for the Bose store, but the dollar store also gets some benefit, right? So what's the efficient level of guard service here, right? So here, the dollar store free rides on the amount of guard service that the Bose store hires. So the efficient level of guard service is going to be where the social marginal benefit, meaning the total marginal benefit from 1 additional hour of guard service, is equal to its marginal cost. So here, what's going to be the total marginal benefit that accrues to society in this particular setting? It's going to be at any quantity the amount of benefit to the dollar store plus the amount of benefit accrued to the Bose store. So up here, at the intercept, it's going to be 7 plus 8, so let's call this here 25. Right? At 7 units, the dollar store gets $0 of marginal benefit, and the Bose store gets whatever this amount is. So I've got a second point here, and I can simply vertically add up my marginal benefit or demand curves to get the social marginal benefit curve. So this thing here is the social marginal benefit curve. So the social optimal amount of guard service is where social marginal benefit, or aggregate demand, is equal to marginal cost. So that point is going to be, running out of colors here, but it's going to be this amount right here. Right, where marginal cost is equal to social marginal benefit. And this here is going to be Q star. So this seems a little bit scary, but it's really not that scary. All you do is, instead of horizontally adding up demand, you add demand up vertically, right? So instead of having an aggregate demand curve that shifts to the right, this one here just shifts up, right? You're just adding up in a different dimension. Then you're taking your aggregate demand or aggregate social marginal benefit curve here, and you're setting it equal to marginal cost, like we always do, to get the socially optimal output level. But what does this show us? What this shows us, one second, is that the socially optimal amount of guard service, Q star, here is higher than what firms would privately provide. Question? Yeah. 7 plus 18, right, is 25. Right, so you just add up the benefit to the dollar store to the benefit to the Bose store at that amount. So 7 plus 18 is exactly 25. I didn't draw it to scale, right? But that's what you're adding up. All right, so that's that. So what I want you to take away from that particular awesome picture, which I think is quite nice, is if you leave these firms alone, they will underprovide the public good, right? The social efficient amount is higher than what these firms would produce if they were left alone. Now we call this free riding, right? So what happens is in free riding is people see others provide public goods, and they simply use them for free without providing some themselves. It's totally privately rational, right? It's optimal for you to free ride on your neighbor's Wi-Fi, right? Unless they can somehow exclude you from using it, they will not get their own Wi-Fi hotspot or whatever it's called, and they will just free ride on yours. Now, with domestic Wi-Fi consumption, this is a minor issue, but when it comes to things that are really, really important, such as public education, well, public education isn't really a public good because you can technically exclude people from using it. But if you're thinking about national defense, for example, those things are provided by the government, because under providing things where there are marginal benefits that if you add them across all individuals here, and just 300 million people free ride just a little bit, the under provision can be quite significant. So what we also get, and we could play a game on this, is voting, unfortunately, often doesn't get you to the optimal public goods provision either. So even if you had, you put out a ballot proposition and you let people vote their preferences on the optimal amount of public goods provision, you would figure that a democratic vote would get you to the social optimum, because it sort of seems like democracy is good, public goods are important, so votes should get you to the socially welfare maximizing output points. Unfortunately, in most cases, that doesn't turn out to be the case either. So voting is not a solution to the public goods problem, and the only really credible solution is to let government provide it. The problem with that is the government doesn't know what the optimal amount of public goods is, so sometimes they overprovide and sometimes they underprovide. So I already see guys sort of rolling their eyes and ripping paper out of their notebooks. It's like, when is this quiz going to happen? It's going to happen right now. I'm going to make it a little tough today. All right, write your name, first and last. No? I want to know what this guy's name is. First or last is fine. And don't tell your neighbor. I don't. There were 2 duplicate names in the class, but one of them has dropped, so we're okay now. Yeah. All right, we ready? Should we pass it to this side? You guys are standing on that side? All right, so pass your quizzes to that side, and then we will collect them. We will work out all. So on Thursday, I'm going to hand back your regraded exams. We're going to talk about details on final, review sessions, office hours, and other worries. So it'll be an exciting lecture on Thursday.